Copy.
They would only drop.
That was the
Wanna
original
be?
Dean.
Yeah, OG Team Dean.
So anyway,
That's
I
right.
posted and I finally said it, and then it just lit up. And then Jen, which I didn't know
Jen came to me, so we had been watching y'all's show since, I guess, day one. And then Jen, to interject from our side, what happened concurrently was that Jen came and she's like, look at this. You'll never believe this. And I see like, I thought it was a picture of a DVD or something.
Yeah.
You said, and I was like, okay, like she didn't show me who had posted. Then she showed me and I was like, oh, wicked.
Yeah.
And so, cause I think, and then she either responded to y'all or
She
I
did.
responded to y'all or something.
No, it's funny what she said.
So she
was hilarious.
She responded, which I didn't know you were. I didn't know anything about your
Yeah,
personal life.
yeah.
I never. I mean, I just didn't know anything. We watch a lot of. We love sci-fi
Sure, watch
shows
TV,
and stuff. And so she posted and said, "Oh, bummer, because we're Team Jep."
No, yeah, we're Team Jep and Jess. That's our favorite couple.
No, we're Team Jep because like we were talking about guy
Team Jep.
characters.
Yeah, you're right.
And I know, like, and I
then
was like, which
oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
oh, and I was like, so I looked and I was like, I saw your last name and I was like, I don't know, maybe I didn't know if it was a made up Twitter account.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
My Twitter name is weird because it's Jarpad, even though most people are their actual names.
Right.
Like
Yes.
Jared Padalecki was taken when I signed up. I kind of signed up.
yeah.
I'll get into that story. In a
Oh, I'm
second,
sure
but-
somebody already took it. But so I looked up and I was like, I didn't know you were married. I didn't know you had any kids or anything. So, and I was like, but I think this is for real. And so then I went back and I was just like, okay, we're Team Dean and Sam. Like it was like it's
like
a
her
tie. It's
apology.
a tie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that was rude. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have posted that. I was so
y'all would
rude.
never see that. We was
No.
like, hey, well,
First, there's
look
that
at this.
Pollock comment, and now there's Team Dean talk.
And so, yeah, and that was really all it was. And I was like, we didn't respond anymore. And then I think she responded once more and was like, okay, like, touche, like, fair, that's fair, that's fair.
got it.
And so, and then,
And this must have been, I don't know, would this probably been during the summer? Because I can remember sitting in my house in L.A. that was right next to that gym I was talking about, where people would run away from my flop sweat, and watching y'all's show. We had like bought a big screen TV and we'd sit down, and I don't think we had kids yet when we started. When did y'all first air?
oh, it's been a while. No, we were on for 6 years. We've been on 6 years.
Okay, so that would have been 2011. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we must have been pregnant with Tom. I say it like I did any other word. Then I think when we were pregnant with Tom, we'd sit down and kind of like just buckle down and order pizza or something. I'd probably have a glass of wine or two, and she probably would be mad that she couldn't. So I remember watching. I thought I remembered it happening. I guess it could have happened here in Austin because not long after that we ended up getting together, right?
Yes.
I guess we followed each other and
Which
We
that's
followed-
a funny
So
story.
we followed each other, and but
We came to ACL, remember?
So we came to ACL.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so we were at ACL. I didn't know where y'all lived or any. I mean, I was like,
Yeah.
we. It's not like we Google somebody and find. I mean,
Sure.
So we were at ACL, and
Y'all must have tweeted about it.
it was our anniversary. So our
Yeah.
ACL
What day
Fest,
is your anniversary?
It's October 7th is
so
our anniversary, but
That's
that
a
was
month,
kind of like
Jeff,
our.
not a day. October's a month.
I know. Thanks.
It took me a couple of seconds to remember
It's
the
rounded
day.
out, just October, just October. And so we started coming to ACL Fest, and it was like, well, this will be our anniversary trip because we like Jeff's a big music guy. I love music too, but he's like super into like newer
And
bands.
it's a great
stuff.
festival, and it's
It's
not.
awesome.
It wasn't. It's not a far drive from
No.
Westmont.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
just
actually flew, I
a
think,
good
but yeah.
8
You got it
hours.
still, yeah.
But anyway, so we came and we were headed out, and Jenna tweeted and said, "Oh, headed to ACL Fest with my sidekick." And I looked, and it was a picture of like Tom was on her back.
Yeah, with the
It was
headphones.
a backpack
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, "Oh my!" I was like, "She said ACL Fest, we're here," and I was like, I've never like private messaged somebody, and I was like, "Should I like say something like, hey, we're here?
Yeah.
Would you want to like?" Say hey at the festival, and
She
he was
didn't
like,
wanna do it.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
want to
just
do
do
it
it,
because
Jess.
Jeff's so
Who
bold. He's
cares?
like, just do it. I'm like, but I don't want her to think I'm a weirdo. Like, and so I finally was just threw it out there. And then of course she responded. She was like, "Oh my gosh!" She was like, "We'd love to see you."
Did you private?
It was
a
private.
What's funny
message.
is I thought in my memory, I thought we had reached out to y'all saying that y'all were in Austin Or maybe we had seen you, but didn't want to do. Maybe it was the same thing. We didn't want to bother. But interesting. Anyway,
Yeah. So I private.
memory is so funny, right?
I know.
You're like, I remember it differently.
You're like, no, that was us. We did that.
Damn. I bet we could go back. The funny thing is that I bet after this we could probably go back on our Twitters and see how it went down.
And then, and she was like, yeah, I would love to. And then I think you were out of town. You were flying back, and she said, Jared's got flying back tomorrow. Let's go have a drink tomorrow. And then we ended up hitting it off, and we went into dinner.
When we were gonna meet that first time, I kept telling Jess, just trying to like mess with her.
Oh God!
I was like, if you call him Sam, he's gonna be ticked.
No, Jeff.
I
He's
said
like,
the worst thing you could do.
I read about
is call him Sam. Oh, and she was getting nervous. I got her a little nervous.
I don't want to call him Sam.
Stop that, Jeb. You're gonna make me like
call him Sam. Just like thinking about it.
Yeah, like stop it, because I do that like with like Jeb. No, he's met Norman Reedus and he's good friends, and sometimes I call him by what is it now, Daryl, and
She's
sometimes
like,
and I'm like I talk him and I'm like, oh wait, I get confused on what's reality and what's not.
Hey.
But yeah, that's how it went down, and we ended up like going to dinner. I think Tom wasn't with y'all.
Do you remember where we met?
It was
a great little place on South Congress.
Wasn't it Hotel San Jose?
Yes.
Is that?
That was it.
So I remember. So here's my side of the story of that too. I'm not a producer of the show. I'm not one of the writers or the creator, and so my quote unquote power is limited. Especially in I think when Jensen and I signed on to Supernatural, we signed on to like the pilot plus 6 years. And that's kind of the way it works out. You know, like they're going to spend all this money on the pilot. They're going to spend all this money kind of publicizing it and flying you here and there to do publicity and photo shoots. And as you guys know. And so then it's kind of like an athlete contract in our world where, they can offer to if they want you to go another year, you're theirs. Right. But if they want to say, sorry guys, you suck, then there's, you're like, all right, well, I'm out of a job. However, when we were finally past that 6-year point and we were able to kind of like renegotiate and, you can ask for the world. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And Jensen and I are not those kind of guys to go like, well, no, we want $1 billion an episode and a house in Miami or whatever. But literally the one thing I wanted ACL weekend off. Like I realized this the other day. I was looking up all the ACL lineups. I realized I was at the first ever Austin City Limits Festival.
Oh, that's when did it start?
I want to say it was like 2004 was the first festival. 2003. I have one of the T-shirts. I bought a T-shirt and I was like, how weird. Anyways, so I put that into my contract to have that time off, and we would fly in for ACL. And so I thought that was the first year that I had that in my contract. Maybe it was season 8, because if Tom was alive.
Tom was here. She was pregnant. I know that she was pregnant. I remember it vividly.
Okay, then it must have been 2013. 4 years?
So I remember being...
it seems longer than
it seems longer.
It does.
I mean, I'm sick and tired of y'all.
No, I feel like, forever. Gosh. I think that's what it is. It's like those friendships, those people you meet and you just hit it off, and it's kind of effortless. You don't have to like entertain or baby or it just kind of.
Well, I remember what happened. We went to that Hotel Santa Rosa, had a great time. Then we went and ate dinner.
We were only going out for a drink. Remember?
Yeah, we were going out for a drink. I think it was I think the festival was starting. At noon. There were some smaller things. I think we met at like noon. I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to meet for a drink and then send y'all on y'all's way and like, hey, nice to meet you. And then we hit it off.
Yeah. Right? We ended up visiting, and then she went back and got Tom. And because we had a little cute picture. I don't even know where it is or if it's
maybe
even
it's on
saved.
iCloud or something.
But Tom was so little. And I just remember and we went to some really great restaurant downtown. And
I remember by the end of the night, you were like, hey, dude, just come by the house, because we hit it off so well. And then we had my niece was there, and I was like, well, I got my niece and her husband.
We got back home.
Oh, I remember that too. I heard a funny, and I sort of, I guess, try to plug this into the rest of my life. One of Jen's brothers got married a week ago, and on one of the toasts, and they were saying this about spouses. But because I think they had dated pretty quickly and kind of like fallen in love pretty quickly. And I think either her father or his father, somebody said, when you realize that you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Right.
And I was like, that's amen about your spouse. Right. But like, even to a degree, like your buddies, man, this is going to be my lifetime buddy. Like, let's start right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, so I sort of, I don't like half-assing things. If I'm like, man, these are my people, and I'm sure vice versa.
Right.
Like, you're like, all right, well, what are y'all doing?
Yep.
Dinner? Cool.
I love it. And so, that's kind of how we met. I think that.
Yeah. And then y'all must have come back shortly thereafter.
Probably.
I think we've been back every couple of months for the last
and so the reason how we got started traveling to Austin from being Louisiana people, but one of my closest friends is from Austin and grew up. They have a 200-acre ranch in Hill Country.
Yeah,
and it's like generational in their family. So it's so anyway, she met a guy. Ended up being one of Jep's childhood friends, and so we started traveling here shortly after that, and we would stay at their ranch, and we have kids the same age, and so we fell in love with Austin, and they're big music people, and we just fell in love with the Austin vibe and culture and how cool it is and how laid back, and it's it has so much, but you also could go with no makeup and in gym clothes all day, and nobody looks at you weird.
Right.
And
especially when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, and unless
it's my gym clothes, because they'll be sweaty and they're like, "Why are you wearing an armband?" And
everybody walks away from you; they don't want to walk by you. But we just fell in love with the Austin area, and so now you're a Texas boy anyway. Were you from Austin?
I was not born in Austin. I was born in San Antonio, born and raised in San Antonio, which, for those not familiar with Texas geography, is about a 70-mile drive south of Austin on I-35. And for whatever reason, I just always kind of like Austin was like Atlantis. It was like, man, I think we went to field trips at the Capitol, and I remember kind of when I was on Gilmore Girls again and kind of started making money, and we'd come up to Lake Travis and go to Valente and rent a boat or rent jet skis. And as a matter of fact, the first ACL that ever happened that I went to with my brother. My sister was in school here at UT Austin, and we would rent jet skis during the day and then go take a quick nap and then go to ACL at night. I was actually enrolled at UT and en route to UT Austin to be an engineer when I got Gilmore Girls. I was like, well, I'm going to give this a shot because Gilmore Girls was a 4-episode guest star.
It was a good call.
It was, I guess so. I guess it worked out. I remember thinking I was the richest guy on the planet. It was like, I remember for my first episode, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I made whatever the minimum for a guest. It was like, and I remember the check was 1, 2, 3, 4. So it was like $1,234. I think it was like 5 days of work. I was like, man,
you made it.
Yes.
I'm out. I'm retiring. I think I'd pay. I was living in Los Angeles at the time. I think my rent was like $800. So after taxes and
you're still
commissions,
starving.
I'm still like eating ramen
noodles.
But I'm like done. I made it. And at this time, Gilmore Girls hadn't aired, and so my parents were super supportive. My friends were super supportive. I still have a buddy named Sam. Funny enough, I have a buddy named Sam who calls me Dean. He's like Diener. He actually calls me Diener. My buddy Sam Witten. If you're out there, man, I miss you. Awesome. How funny! I never even thought that his name was Sam. He calls me Sam and calls me Dean. I remember moving out and going, I'll give this a shot. And so it kind of worked out, and I ended up not showing up for school. And then Gilmore asked me for more, and kind of did a pilot here and there. But my sights were always set on Austin. And so when Jen and I started falling in love and dating and talking about family and where we wanted to go, where we would want to raise a family, neither she nor I are Los Angeles people. You know what I mean? I love it's a really great city to go visit.
The
weather's
awesome.
Great. There are a billion good restaurants, and obviously that's hyperbole. But you can drive a half hour and be at the beach. You can drive half an hour and be kind of in the desert. You can drive half an hour and kind of be, big mountain or mountain high or whatever. You can kind of ski in the winter. It's all man-made snow. But the point is, there's a lot to offer, obviously. That's why so many people are moving there.
Yeah.
But she and I just never really found our footing there. We have some close friends that live there. We have some great friends that have moved there. I think for me, having always kind of had anxiety about things, I never ever was at ease in Los Angeles.
Yeah. For
whatever reason. That's not Los Angeles' fault.
Right.
I just couldn't, if I woke up in LA, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to relax today, play guitar, go swim in the pool. I was like, oh, I should be working out, scaring people in the treadmill next to me with my sweat. I should be going on audition or reading a script or going to a meeting or something. I just couldn't find my footing.
Right.
And I tried. I moved to different places. I tried to hang out with different groups. And I certainly don't ever blame anybody for loving Los Angeles. Yeah. I just never did. And nor did Genevieve.
That Texas blood.
That Texas blood, man. It was Call Me Back. And so when we started talking about family and got married, we kind of talked seriously about it. And she grew up between kind of Sun Valley, Idaho and San Francisco area and California. She lived in Montana for a little bit. She went to school in New York. She had kind of been all over the place. Worked in Albuquerque. And she liked all this. She loved New York, obviously, but she also wasn't like, I don't know how I feel about raising a family in New York. Like, I like my kid. Like, I like parks and stuff. Right. Obviously, you can go to a park, but and I was sort of, timidly raised my hand and was like, well, you want to go visit Austin?
Yeah.
And so we did. I think the summer of 2010, we had just gotten married. We dated 2008 to 29. We got married in 2010 in February, the day of February.